Let's talk about the creepiness of my childhood.
Oh, creepy childhood.
Whoa. Creepy childhood.
Whoa, that's not what I was talking about. Wait, we're still talking about houses, right?
Yes. The ghosts.
Okay, good.
No, the vampire. The vampire that broke into my house.
Oh.
Wait, I don't know about that.
And then the aliens showed up.
Is that why you wear this beanie?
It is.
All the time?
The
all right.
Something to do.
Gosh.
Conspiracy. I do have a crazy, like a really crazy story from when I was a kid, and there were like ghosts in my house. We talked about it a few months ago, like the crazy ghost stories.
The washing machine?
But no, let's talk about the horrifying racism of Chicago.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So check out this image.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah, just jump over to this image. So this is Google, and this is where are we at? We're at 49 West 45th Street, and I have no disrespect for this neighborhood. You see all these houses? This is May 2009. So I grew up on 49th and Laramie, on the south side of Chicago near the Midway Airport, and we were always basically like forbidden from crossing over north of 47th. So earlier today, I was talking to Lydia about what, we're talking about race relations and Black Lives Matter and stuff. And I mentioned I think I talked about this briefly on the show. I did a big Twitter thread about it.
Okay.
How 47th Street divided the races of my area. Once you went north of 47th, it was all black. And if you were south of that, it was mostly like poor white and like Polish immigrant. And then if you went past Cicero to the east, it was more Hispanic and Latino. And if you went west, you found all the redneck, So the street I grew up on was half Chicago and half suburb called Stickney.
Okay.
It's really funny. The street's half done. It's hilarious.
Really?
It's pretty funny,
yeah, the city would only come in and plow one half the street. And so we had a lot of weird, racist problems. One of which, side note, the city apparently banned elotes carts. You know what that is?
Is it the little... like the ice cream?
Well, no, it's corn. Corn.
The corn with butter on it or whatever.
Mayonnaise, Parmesan, and red pepper.
Spicy sauce.
Sounds amazing.
Also, right?
Oh
and so these little guys are walking these carts on, these little Mexican dudes.
I do love some corn.
That sounds
Dude,
great.
elotes was awesome. And so we'd be hanging out at the park, and the little cart would roll up, and we'd all be like, yeah, and we'd all run out.
Yes.
And for a buck, you take a corn on the cob, and you cut off the corn, mix in some mayo Parmesan, and swirl it up.
That's amazing. That's
good.
$1.
So
For $1.
Totally worth it.
We'd all eat
my
it.
gosh.
I would love one of those right now.
Apparently, the mayor made it illegal.
What?
Saying that specific business wasn't allowed in this area because...
Reasons?
I don't know, man.
Uh-huh.
But I'll tell you what I think it is. I think the city wanted the segregation. I do.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. That's me. But they specifically said, at least this is what I was told by locals in the community.
Okay.
When they stopped showing.
That's how they felt.
No, when we stopped showing up, I was told specifically by like one of the adults, like, oh yeah, the mayor said those street vendors can't come to this area anymore.
Wow, that's messed up.
But they were okay if you cross Cicero, they're there. And we're like, what?
What? Why?
But we liked it and then it got replaced by ice cream trucks. So I guess we went from eating corn to eating ice cream, but hey, that's a different story. No, check it out. This is crazy. I didn't know this happened. I left this area when I was like 18 years old, and
what year was that?
2004.
We decided, right? Yeah.
2004.
So yeah. So around that time, actually, they were clearing the north side of Chicago of all low-income housing and pushing all those people to the south side, basically into these neighborhoods around that same time.
Let me tell you what happened. I'm talking to Lydia.
Okay.
I'm like, check out this neighborhood, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I've gone on this neighborhood one time when I was with some friends.
Yeah. Because
we had been told you can't, and I mentioned this in the show before because the police will stop you. What are you doing here? You must be wanting to buy drugs.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And they might even, like, I was told if you walk through the neighborhood, you'll either get into a conflict, in a manner of speaking, with the locals who are like, what are you doing? Or you'll end up with the police being like, yo, get out. And I had a friend who was female who walked over, and there was an older black man saying, honey, turn around. You can't come in here.
Dang.
And he wasn't telling her like she had to leave. He was saying,
don't.
For your own protection.
For your own protection. Like, you don't want to come in. Yeah. So this is an area they call LeClaire Courts.
Okay.
Take a look at this image. This is just one image. And so I was doing a Google Maps from last year. And it was the weirdest thing. And I'm like, this doesn't look at all like what I remember.
Yeah.
And so Lydia said, why don't you go back in time? And so I went back to 2009, and I was like,
oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Wait till you guys, let me show you what, for those that are watching, you ready for this? Let's jump to 2009. They raised everything.
10 years later, wow, it's just a big open park of grass.
Is gone. This
is insane.
really blew my mind.
Where did all those people go?
All
Exactly
those
my
houses are
question,
gone.
yeah.
Look at this. Let me jump back in time again. Houses. Look at this. Sidewalks, houses,
Yeah.
power lines.
Yeah.
The power lines, dude.
Yeah, wow.
And then you come back today.
The
Open,
sidewalk is still there.
empty fields.
Yeah.
The sidewalks from the houses used to be still there. Look at the street cones, just where this alley was between these houses.
Wow.
I didn't know. I didn't know they did this. This is the area where I grew up, and they were like, this place is, it's low income housing. There's a lot of crime and gang activity.
Chicago's pretty strongly Democrat, isn't it?
It's
is
it's been
stronghold.
Democrat
It's
supermajority.
Yep.
It's like Democrat.
This
like,
is
conventions.
Utopia.
Yeah, utopia.
This
right.
is what I think this is what I've been talking about with people. I have no perspective on Republicans growing up in Chicago.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. Because for us, we didn't care about national level politics. We cared about, can we get our skate park built?
Right.
And you had the Democrats controlling literally everything. And so for me, the knife in the back always came from Democrats. Not that I agreed with Republican policy.
Right.
I was, young lefty, and the Democrats were the ones who screwed everything up, held us back. And they do policies like this. Now, look, to be fair, I don't know what they do with these people.
Yeah.
But it's man, look at this empty field. This is crazy. Where's the plumbing?
What are they doing with this
Where's the plumbing?
land?
Where's the power lines?
Yeah.
I don't even care about any of that. Where'd they put the people?
Seriously.
Right.
Because when they did that to the north side of Chicago and they pushed everyone south, there were gang wars. Chicago
man.
became the deadliest city in America for a little while. I don't remember which years it was, but it was after they did all that. And it got so bad that the city told hospitals in Chicago they're not allowed to accept gunshot wounds. So if you got shot in the south side of Chicago, you had to go to any hospital outside of the city limits, which would take sometimes an hour. There was a kid who was like a 7-year-old kid, got hit by just a random stray bullet.
Are you serious?
And they went to the hospital and they're like, yeah, but it's a kid. They got shot. It was a side. The hospital was like, sorry, we can't do it.
Wow.
You gotta leave and go. They had to drive like an hour to I don't remember what the next hospital up. It's insane.
I'm over cities.
Me
I gotta
too.
be honest.
Cities
I'm
are an
over
issue.
cities, man.
Yeah.
And I think, so for those that we do these as separate segments, for those that are just tuning in, we were talking earlier about how there's discussions in Minneapolis of disbanding the police outright.
Mm-hmm.
And we were saying that we think that the real issue is the cities have become unlivable.
Isn't that why World War I happened? It's because they were all trying to consolidate power and buy up all the land around Europe and push everyone into cities.
Is that what it was?
I'm not exactly sure on this.
I don't know enough about it.
I think I've had a few conversations with a buddy of mine's actually writing a screenplay about World War Franz Ferdinand, the whole lead up about what happened and what led to World War I. So, and I know there was a lot of that going on. And all I can think is that anyone who lives in a city is under someone else's boot.
Yeah.
And we need to get out from under other people's boots. It's not a race issue. It's a class issue being stuck in someone else's under someone else's boot. You have to pay to live anywhere. You can't own property in a city unless you got millions of dollars. Who's got millions of dollars to just like buy their house?
And at any time, they might just tell you to move. We're gonna raise your whole.
They want
neighborhood.
They want you renting. They want you buying food at the grocery stores around there. Living basically on whatever they want. It's like,
you see the sign right here?
What does that say there?
Private property.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's not even a park.
Yeah. Whose property?
It's not even a park. What is it?
Yeah. What is it then?
Let's go back in time. Ready for this? Boom.
Oh yeah.
This is what I remember.
Yeah.
And we were told that there's a lot of gang activity and you can't go in there.
Well, this looks exactly like the place that I was with. So I was actually in kind of a gang when I was living in Chicago. I'm dead serious. I'm not joking around.
Kind of.
Okay. Yes, I was.
Oh.
And it was a place like this that we got shot at. And it was crazy. It was one of the more intense nights of my life. And
wow, no kidding.
Yeah, it's like it's not these people's. I wasn't blaming any of these people that lived in these places. It's the people that put them there. They forced their hand, and now they probably did it again. Y'all have to leave. We're raising this. We're gonna put show it again. A big
future
grass field,
a big private property.
Oh my gosh.
What are they planning? It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe, I think it's fair to say, though, there is a possibility that low-income public housing was a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe.
So I did a documentary on Ferguson where we talked about Pruitt-Igoe.
Okay.
It was one of the first public housing projects in history. And the idea was you have all these poor people, you give them a place to live, you can deal with homelessness, and you can maybe help them get on a better footing.
Yeah.
Raise their kids, get their kids, better off. The problem was Pruitt-Igoe fell into disrepair, and it became a skyscraper slum. And then it was just awful, just trash. It's just and so they want to do good, but I think the problem is there's more to teaching a man to fish than just giving them a fishing rod and walking away.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest challenges, that it seems like, what I refer to these Chinese finger trap problems, where it seems like, you got to pull your fingers out, but it makes it worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you might have to do something counterintuitive. And maybe, the first thing I'll say is we clearly didn't have the answers.
Nope.
I'll tell you, there's going to be people from here who are going to say the city was evil for doing all this.
Yep.
And there are going to be people who say the city was evil for starting it in the first place.
And a big problem is there's too many people that think they know the answer.
Right.
And their answer is the correct answer, and that's never right, because there's too many different people out there for one person to be like, this is the way it should be. This is the answer.
Yeah.
It's never the answer.
But maybe we got to get out of the cities.
Yeah, I agree.
New York is seeing a mass exodus right now because of everything.
Good.
Man, think about what it must be like. There was a New York Times story published today about a jewelry shop in Manhattan that's just been ransacked completely.
Yeah.
And they actually interviewed the person saying, like, people are protesting in front of my store, but I can't even open the door. Like, how does that make sense?
Yeah.
1,000 people walked past my building. I couldn't hand them something. That's the law. These cities are broken.
Yep.
Completely broken. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.